I'm Shakayla, this is Shakayla Says, and today I'm going to be reading a book called A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. Okay, so basically the book is about this girl called Meg, her brother Charles, and this other boy, Calvin, who's their friend. They meet these three women, Mrs. Who, Mrs. Which, and Mrs. Whatsit, who transport them to another planet to go and find Charles and Meg's missing father. So basically, they transport them to another planet, and then they have to try and find their father. There are some villains, but I wouldn't really call them villains really because they don't really do anything. There's like this thing called It. It's like this huge brain, and that's a demon thing that possesses Charles near the end of the book. And there's also the black thing, but the black thing just sits there and does nothing. I liked how they went to different places. I think only in Bud's death they just didn't. I also think the book, because it was short, it didn't take me long to read. I also thought that you kind of have like some sort of fear of what was going to happen to Charles when he was possessed by It. You don't know what was going to happen. Was he going to attack them? Other than that, I didn't really find it that enjoyable because it's not really for me. It's for children who are younger than me. There's a few things I didn't like about the book. One of the main things I didn't like is how quickly Calvin and Meg became friends. Like, they saw him there, Mrs. Who, Mrs. Which, and Mrs. Watson's house, and all of a sudden they're besties, like, oh, I'm going to invite my friend over to dinner, like, you haven't just met. Literally, they came into the house, were like, oh, this person's coming over for dinner. If I came to my mum like, oh, this person's coming to dinner, and mum's never met them before, mum would not be happy for me to bring no random person up into her house. So, they brought Calvin up into their house, and then they're acting like their best friend, and she's on about her dad. And then all of a sudden, they're like, they're holding hands and stuff, but she was like, oh, it's like a friendly kind of thing, like how I hold hands with my brother. But then at the end, he kisses her. I was like, what? That came out of nowhere. I thought it was a friendship. And some of the other things weren't explained either, because like, I understand like, they meant Mrs. Who, Mrs. What's it, and Mrs. Which are meant to be like mystical beings or whatever, and they're meant to be all powerful. But who are you? One of them was on about how they were a star and they were fighting the black thing, and then they died or something like that. It's like, but who are you and why are you here? Why are you even helping them? And they were like, it said guardian angel, but like, why does there need to be three of you? You know what I mean? It didn't really make sense like who they were and what they were doing. Because literally, there's these three all-powerful people, but why do you need them? Just need one to, like, they were on about, oh, this person can only transport this person to that planet, and it's like, why didn't one of you just come then? Like, why is there three of them? Because they're all powerful or whatever, and they can all do certain things. Yeah. Why can't you just put that into one person? Why need three of them? I think it was Mrs. Which who could only transport Meg through the black thing, because that's how you get through the place where our father was. And then she was like, only this person can do it, so why you two hear them? Because you two basically do nothing. It was like, what's the point in having three people? They can just turn it into one person and just, you know, it even save time, but instead of like wasting time with the rest of them, just turn it into one person. Yeah, it just seems like they weren't needed, they were just added in there. Like Calvin, I know we just talked about him, but I don't have a clue why he's even in the book. It was like, he's there to protect Meg, but he didn't do nothing. When she was almost dying, what was he doing? Nothing. I'm like, why are you here? And then another thing to do with Calvin, like in the book he's like, oh, my parents don't care that I'm gone and I'm not going to be home for dinner. I don't want to be locked up my house again. And he was like, oh, it feels like nobody cares about me. And then it wasn't mentioned again in the book, so what was that for? Why didn't he tell him that he was being neglected or whatever? I don't understand. It was just like something that was put in there for you to feel bad for him, I guess. And then it just didn't mention it again. Like, it wasn't really needed. They could have just said, oh, my parents work or something like that. It was just to say like, oh, that's why I'm over here at dinner, my parents don't care. I think it was just that kind of thing. Like, I feel like I can give this book like a 4 out of 10 because, honestly, it was just boring for me because it wasn't written for me. Everything just moved too quickly, or it just didn't feel right for me. It was just boring, really. Anyways, the end of my review. I'll see you next time.